Ngozi, how are you doing? Let's do a quick check round to ensure that we are live everywhere we are meant to be live. Okay, we are not live anywhere. Um, Let me believe it's still coming up. Okay, we are live on Facebook. Okay, so I'm trying something. Let me know how this look. I don't even know if I can still change it. Um, I'm trying to do the live on portrait. Yeah, I usually do it on landscape, but this, what do they call it now? This app I'm using is telling me to use portrait, that it looks better um, on the live. So I decided, but it's looking small to me. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do you think this looks okay? Or is it better the way that it was before? That's the portrait view and the landscape view. Which one do you prefer? Do let me know. I don't even think I can change it. Um, I don't think I can change it, but even if I want to, yeah, I don't think I can go back to. Let me see. I can't change it back. So it's on portrait today, but all the other days I've had it on landscape. So do let me know which one you prefer, which one shows better, which one is more, um, is it visible? I want to say, because I feel that this portrait is just too limiting. The landscape showed, everything. So let me know your choice. Let me know your choice. So please, I'm waiting for that information as you join. Let me know your choice. If you prefer, I prefer the landscape. I have to tell you, I prefer the landscape. So let me know what you prefer as you look at it, as you join, which experience is better. Um, yeah, which experience is better, so that next time I will keep to that setting. We're trying to, we're looking at everything, all this is part of the experience. All this is part of the experience. So let me know. Let me know if you like this portrait view, or I should go back to the landscape. But each time I go live, it always advises me actually that the portrait view is better. Mary Z. Mary, I see you on LinkedIn, Instagram. So sorry. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. So do let me know as you are there now. Okay, I don't know if I think you're a new, I think it's your first time watching me, so you might not be able to tell me whether this is better or the landscape, but tell me how the experience is as you're looking at it. How does it look from your end, so that I will know what to tweak or what not to tweak as we go on. So thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. This is Growth Habits with Ngozi. I am your personal guide on the journey of growth. We have been on this journey for years now. We're learning together, we're improving together, we're doing what is needed to grow together. I've always said I'm a mentor, not a coach, because a coach tells you what to do, really, but a coach doesn't do it with you. For example, I always use the example of soccer or football, depending on where you're watching from. The coach tells the players what to do. He has the strategy, he shows it to them. This will be the best way to score this goal. This is the best use of your talents. This is the best use of your skills. And he puts it, and shows the players. Probably is the best strategy ever. But the coach never gets on the field. The coach never kicks a ball. It doesn't mean he has not kicked in the past. He has kicked in the past and he knows the best way to do this. He has studied, he has the knowledge, um, he has the knowledge, he has the experience, he has everything. But when it's kickoff time, the coach doesn't play. The coach doesn't play. So, but a mentor not only knows the road, he has been on the road, he knows the road, he knows the journey, he knows where the pitfalls are, he knows all the same things the coach knows. A mentor knows all that. The only difference between a coach and a mentor is that a mentor goes on the journey with you. The mentor gets on the field and plays with you. So I am a growth mentor. As I teach you about principles of growth, I am also learning. I am also actually doing the things I'm telling you to do. So I don't just teach you from past experience, I also teach you from present experience. I also speak with you from where I am on my own journey. So, yes, that is why I call myself a growth mentor. This is session 128 of Growth Habits. You can see that we've really, really come a long way. We're live every Tuesday, 12 noon Nigerian time. Okay, say it's not your. Now I know who this is on Instagram. Okay, the name you just called me now. I know who you are. Okay, Mary, welcome. I didn't know it was you. I didn't know this was you. Oh my God, this name has taken me back years. How is everything, Mary? How is the family? Okay, it's not your first time, but just okay, tell me. I can't get over this name. You just called me now. You just call me Madam Akanta. If you know, you know. I'm not going to explain where that comes from or the history of Madam Akanta, but if you know, you know. Please do let me know how is the experience of this portrait? How does it look from your end? That's what I'm trying to. Honestly, this Madam Akanta has just. Oh my goodness, life. Okay, so please do let me know, Mary, so that I can next time let me know whether to go back to my portrait, my landscape, or do I stick with this portrait? Okay, so as I was saying, this is session 128 of Growth Habits with Ngozi, and for the month of October, our theme is habits of excellence. That's what we are looking at. That is raising your standard every day. It's not about, yes, we have habits, but being able to improve daily on those habits. So, habits of excellence. Habits of excellence, we're talking about for the whole month of October. And we started by looking at excellence in small things. And we learned and we agreed that true excellence begins in the small, the unseen details, the little things, the faithfulness in little things, the integrity when no one is looking. In those things we consider small, if we can be faithful and develop habits that improve and increase those things, we will live lives of excellence. So faithfulness in little things, this is what plants the seed. Okay, this is what plants the seeds for greatness, really, later on. Those being faithful in the little things, being able to do the little things well all the time, all the time, all the time. Okay, so that was what we discussed in our first session. And we said that excellence is a habit, is what you consistently do that defines who you become. What you consistently do defines who you become. Um, okay, Mary says this is good on Instagram. Okay, all right. Maybe I'll keep doing the um, portrait. All right, thank you so much for your comment, Mary. So the next session, we talked about the discipline of diligence, showing up, doing work that lasts, showing up. We discovered in that session that diligence is like the quiet strength that is behind excellence. Because if you show up once and you don't show up again, that does not, and in fact, definitely does not define excellence. You have to keep showing up. You have to remain diligent. You have to have the discipline to keep um, showing up, being steady, even when there is no motivation to do so. Even when the motivation is gone, having developed that discipline to keep showing up, to keep being there, even when motivation is gone, because you will not always be motivated. I'm telling you for fact, you will not always be motivated. I am not always motivated. It might look like I am because every Tuesday I show up, consistency, diligence, but I am not always motivated. It's not every Monday evening I feel like waking up in the morning to do this. Some days I'm like, do I really need to show up? But because I mean, I've basically just, it's almost like autopilot. Tuesday, growth habits. There's just no two ways about it. So yes, discipline of diligence. That was what we spoke about last week. And we said that diligence is like the bridge between your potential and then you're being productive. And that is going between that, the potentials that you have, and being productive, being able to produce something of value. You need diligence to do that. So that's a recap of the two sessions we have had. Thank you, Coach Ify. I can see you, Balanced Living Consulting. Thank you for joining me on Instagram. Okay, so today we're going to look at character and competence. We're going to look at character and competence. They're the two pillars of excellence for me: character and competence. Because I believe really they are the pillars that sustains true excellence: character and competence. If you don't have both, I actually believe you need both, because I don't think you can do I don't think you can do excellent work, or you can live a life of excellence if you have only character and you don't have competence, or you have only competence and you don't have character. I really don't believe it's possible. So you need both of them. You need to have the two. And that is what we are going to be looking at. Okay. Coach Ify says learning modules activated. All right. I'm glad you're here. And please share your insights as you join. Share your insights as we are talking. Share your insights. I'm always interested to hear from you. I'm always interested to hear your inputs, how you see what we're talking about. So we're talking about character and competence today. Now, I want to, in this session, be able to help us understand that character, that is who you are. That is the way I define character, basically. And competence, what you can do, how they work together and create this life of excellence, this life of impact, this life of influence we all want to live. And like I said, both needs to be there. If you have one without the other, for me, it doesn't quite work. It doesn't quite work. We need to have both character and competence. You need to have both. This one is let me move it to this way. Okay, move it out of the way. All right, so that's what we're going to talk about. And if you're a Christian, you know um, that the Bible tells us that we need both. Okay, I'm just seeing a message from Mary that was on Instagram a few minutes ago. Let me check. Was it? I thought I just saw a message flash somewhere. Ew. Um, my apologies. Um, Let me see if I can help this person quickly. Um, this is business. This is business. Let me see if I can help this person out quickly. Okay, she did not. Okay, no problem. All right, so let me go on. I was hoping I could just sort that quickly, but it's like the person is not responding anymore. So even though I was talking about the Bible telling us also that, okay, there's one that I'm trying to remember where this is. I think it's Ecclesiastes, if I remember properly. It says, if the axe is dull and one does not sharpen the edge, then he must use more strength, but wisdom brings success. So the axe being dull and you happen to sharpen it, that is competence. That is competence. And then it says, but wisdom brings success. That is your character. So, like I said, even the Bible teaches it. Um, and we know, not even just from the Bible, we know that character and competence are essential. They are essential in life. I don't even know the area of business or of life that both are not essential. I don't know. Uh, okay, Coach Ify says personally should put character over competence, though both are very important. Yes, I'm not even trying to say which one is more important. I'm saying that you need both. You need both. If you don't have both, you can't go far. You can have character and zero competence. It can only take you so far. Or you have competence and zero character. It can only take you so far. So you actually need both. You need to have both. The degree that you need both is a different is a different discussion altogether. The degree of both that you need is a different discussion. And I think it depends on okay, I guess it depends on I think it depends on what you are doing that will determine what degree of each you actually need. But you need character for sure. It is essential. You need character, but you also need to have a level of competence. If you have character and then they put you in a job that you know nothing about, will your character do the job for you? No. The character will only help you maybe remain and find someone that will teach you. So you do need to have competence. Okay, so let me just define um okay, I don't know. Oh God, this is not the time for this. Just give me a second. Let me respond to this person. All right, so let me define quickly. My apologies. Um, this I'm responding to. This one is money. This is where the money is coming from. So, all right. So, let me just give short definitions. Character. The character is the moral or ethical foundation that helps shape your behavior. That is your character. It is who you are when no one is watching. That is your character. Who you are when no one is watching. That's inward strength that helps sustain, your integrity, that helps sustain humility or whatever. That is your character. Who you are when no one is watching. I like to define character in that way because sometimes we think it's just who we are. Why I add the when no one is watching is because some people are different when no one is watching. And when people are watching, they're a different person. No, that is your true character is who you are when no one is watching. If when no one is there, you think stealing is fine. When no one can see you, you think stealing is okay. You can afford to steal because no one is watching, then you're a thief. Sorry. That is your character. I hope we got that. But that is it. So who you are when no one is watching, that is your true character, not who you are when the whole world is seeing. Not who you are when the whole world is seeing you. Okay, so um, let me send this out. Let's see. Okay, I hope this sorts this person out. All right, so that is character. And like I said, your character can't be built in the public space. It's not built where people see. It's not built where it is visible. That is not where character is built. That is where your character is revealed. Yes, you build your character in secret. You build your character in private. You build your character when no one is watching, without an audience. That is where you build your character. But that character that you have built in the secret, when no one is seeing, is what is revealed in the public. So when I've had people say, "Oh, I'm a very humble person," blah 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 blah. But when I see them, when I meet them in occasions, they're very very proud. They are very proud. And I tell, if I'm close enough to you, I will tell you, you are not a humble person. Not because, you pretend to be humble when people are, you know, seeing you. But when the crowd is not there, you are not a humble person. If I've seen situations where people, they see someone, I don't know why I'm going on this humble area, but when people are around, maybe in an occasion, you know, they put on this air of, I'm everyone's friend. I'm everyone's friend, I'm friendly. But once the cameras go off, let me use, once the cameras go off, they're a different person. They're a different person altogether. Then you're not humble, because in the secret places or in the private times, you're not humble. So your character is not built in public, never. It's never built in public, but it is revealed. It is revealed, because we can try to hide who we truly are. We can try. We can try to hide who we truly are, but ultimately shows. So yeah, that is your character. Now, your competence is your ability, the skills, the knowledge that you have that helps you do things, that helps you work. Your ability to do work excellently, your ability to be precise, your ability to grow. That is your competence, the things you learn, the things you're able to do, the knowledge that you have. Now, I don't know how many of us have ever watched this show called The Good Doctor. Sean was a very competent doctor. Now, I don't even know if I should use that example, because we know that he's autistic, but in watching that show, you could see that he had competence. He was a very competent person. I don't want to say he lacked character, but he needed to refine his character because he had character. He had character. He was a very honest person. Whether people are there, people are not there, he was the same Sean. He was the same Sean. There was no difference. There was no difference. He's the same person if he's by himself. He's the same person if he's with a crowd. He's the same person if he's, with an audience, as in big audience. Now, he's the same person. He never changed. But he had to keep refining his character so that he could work better with people. So that he could work better with people. So that's why I say you need both. And the extent of each that you need depends really on the situation. Because there are situations where what is most important in this case is your competence, is what you know. So you apply what you know. And there are situations where how you relate with people, how honest you are, how whether humble you are, how you relate with people is what is most needed in this current situation. So that's why I said that you need both. And the degree of each that you need depends on the situation. Okay, Coach Ify says on Instagram, character is whining or winning. Okay. I can't really make out what you say, but I guess his character is built when no one is watching. Okay, I think you're trying to repeat. Yeah, character is built when no one is watching. You can't build character in public, really. You just showcase the character you have. That's what you showcase in public. So I've given short definitions of character and competence. Your character, let me say this in rounding up these definitions. Your character is what makes people trust you. It's your character, not your competence. So your character is what makes people trust you. Your competence is what makes you valuable to people because this is what you know. Is what you know. So people value, okay, for example, Ngozi is a good accountant, for example, because I know accounting. I have knowledge in that area. But if I'm with all my knowledge in accountancy, the years I was working, if I was a mean person, nobody in my department would trust me. Nobody. Nobody that I work with would trust me. My boss, my co-workers, nobody. So you need both. You need both. They're the two pillars really for me of excellence. So in looking at this, um, looking at character and competence and how they can work together to help you rise, to help you rise in influence, to help you rise in impact. There are basically four principles to that. And the four principles are integrity. You'll have to be rooted in integrity. You must be rooted in integrity. This is part of your character. Integrity is like the alignment between what you say and what you do, and also what you believe. It's what puts them all together. What you say, what you do, what you believe. That is what integrity is. What aligns these three parts of you, and it's essential. It is essential. You can't claim to have any character if you don't have integrity. I really don't even see how that is possible. It's choosing right. That's the right thing, even when it is costly. Even when it is costly to do so. That is integrity. Even when it is costly to choose the right thing, you still choose to do the right thing. And like I said, I don't see, I'm even trying to think if it's possible to say you have character, you're a person of character and you don't have integrity. I don't know. I'm looking and my brain right now is trying to do some calculations if it's even possible. But I'm not sure. I don't think it's possible. You must have integrity. You must be rooted in it, not just, basic, rooted in integrity. Once again, that is choosing right, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's costly to you. You still choose to do the right thing. And when you have integrity, integrity helps you build credibility with people. And people will always trust someone whose actions match their words. But when there's a disconnect, people begin to, doubt. So people would always trust someone whose words and actions match. Character, integrity, very important. Integrity. Um, there's one example in the Bible that I always go back to because even sometimes I'm like, and that's Daniel. Daniel was an administrator par excellence. So he had competence. He was an administrator par excellence. If not, he wouldn't have remained in his job, I believe. He was an administrator. But added to that, Daniel was a man of integrity. He stood out for that in Babylon. All the plots that we read in the Bible against him by the other administrators is because of his integrity, because they saw that this man stands for right, stands for truth. They saw it. It was clear, it was evident. They didn't think, they didn't have to think. They knew because it showed public. It was in the public that the integrity he has built showed. That is where the integrity was evident. So, Daniel, a man of integrity. Yes, good character goes along with integrity. You can't claim to have good character and have no integrity. I don't even know how that works. Like I said, I've been trying to, in my head, see if there's a way that works, but I don't see it. I don't see how it's possible. I don't see how it's possible. So, um, that is that. So, must be rooted in integrity. These are some of the principles um, of character and competence. I just want to share a few, some of the principles of character and competence that will help you be able to rise, help you be able to grow in both. So integrity, number one. This next thing is that you must be willing to invest in your growth. You must be willing to invest in your growth. This is an aspect of competence. It's not just that I don't get them before. In Nigeria, we say get them before. It's not property. You have to be willing to invest in growth. You have to be willing to invest in growth. Excellence requires continuous improvement. It's not one and done. It requires continuous improvement. So for you to be someone that is competent, that even these days I'm telling myself that you're no longer competent in accounting. I tell myself that every day because I've seen myself, because I've kind of like pivoted away from accounting a little bit, I'm seeing myself a little behind in principles or some of the things, some of the principles of account remain basically the same, but there are new advancements, there are new things that are being introduced, and I'm seeing myself that I'm lagging behind, and I'm looking for, ways to try and be up to date in it. So competence requires continuous improvement. If there is no continuous improvement, you can't claim to be competent. You can't. So you need to invest in growth. It's essential. Invest in growth. It is essential. It's essential. You really cannot say I'm a person of competence and your knowledge base is 2020. That's 2020 knowledge base. Even 2024 knowledge base is becoming outdated, and you need to upgrade, you need to update yourself. You need to update yourself. So yeah, invest in growth. Super important. Invest in growth. Invest in growth. The next thing is serve with humility. Serve with humility. Excellence, true excellence, really, really, I believe, this is my belief, is not self centered. If you're truly a person of excellence, you would, will I say, readily serve others. You would readily apply that which you know in the service of others. So, true excellence, character wise, is rooted in service. It's rooted in service. I always tell people when we talk about humility, humility is not you just being quiet. Humility is not you being powerless. It is not. To me, humility is power. You have power. You have all the abilities. You have all that is needed. You have power, but that power is under control. That is true humility. It is power that is under control. And I always give the example of Jesus, but sometimes I think I need to change my example sometimes. But really, Jesus is one person that had power. He had the power to change a lot of things. Anytime I have the time to go over, his last days on earth and all that transpired, I realized that he truly had power under control. That is my definition, honestly, my definition of humility. He could have done so much. He could have showcased his abilities in that time, but he didn't. So, humility is not the absence of power. It's not the absence of authority. It's not the absence of maybe abilities or capabilities. Because sometimes I think that's the way we view people who are humble, feel they're humble because they don't know, or they don't have the ability, or they don't have the power. But humility, truly, for you to exercise true humility, is for you to have power under control so that you can learn, so that you can listen, so that you can lead well. So you can lead well. So humility is power under control. And for you to exercise true excellence, you must um, you must serve with humility. You must serve with humility. I am Kachis. I can see you on Instagram. Thank you for joining me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. We're talking about we're talking about character and competence today. We're talking about character and competence. And oh, okay. So now I'm seeing the message on Facebook. Welcome, Mrs. Regina Obiagu. I'm glad you're here. Glad to have you. Good day, ma. Um, yeah, we're talking about character and competence, and we say that they're the two pillars of excellence. You need both. You need both. If you have just one, the building cannot really stand. It will be shaky. You need character and you need competence. And we're just talking about serving with humility. Serving with humility. And the next thing I want to say is that for character and competence to truly work together to bring about the best for you, you need to execute with excellence. You need to execute with excellence. And this is not execute with excellence once. You have to be able to have proven results, consistent results. So it means doing your work thoroughly, whatever it is you're doing. Now, I had an experience with someone, was it yesterday? I think She usually does an excellent work for me. She's someone that, when I tell her do this, she usually does an excellent work. But I noticed that she once in a while makes little mistakes. And see, they're not major. Most of the things, they're not major mistakes, but they are major enough for me because they are repeating. Why it became an issue is because these little things are repeating. And if you must be a person of excellence, you can't afford to be having work that is not excellent all the time. See, I'm not even preaching perfection here because yes, I mean we are human beings. I can understand that once in a while we make a mistake. But when that mistake becomes regular, that is now the norm. It's not the exception. So that we mess up should be our exceptions. It shouldn't be the norm, shouldn't be the normal thing that we're always messing up. So I called the person to order. I'm sure, because I didn't, how do I put this kindly? I was not nice. I was not nice in calling her to order. I didn't put my usual, usually I have a way of phrasing my um when I want to give it to you, I have a way of phrasing it so that even you will not be sure. You will know that you're being corrected. You will definitely know that I'm correcting you, but you'll be like, okay, that wasn't too bad. But in this one, I hit her over the head, bars bows, as they say. I gave it straight up with no coating, no embellishment, nothing, because this error has repeated. The same thing. The same, and it's just a lack of diligence in just checking. It's not like I said, it's not a major, it's not like she ruined the whole thing. No. Yes, I couldn't use what she gave me as is because of that error. But once again, it wasn't something that even you will see immediately. You actually have to look to notice this error. But it has happened more than once. And for me, that is a big red flag. So you can't be a person of excellence if you're not executing, excellence all the time. But majority of the time, if I keep saying this all the time, it looks like I'm talking about being perfect all the time. No, majority of the time, you have to be thorough with what you do. That means check again, look at it again. You may have missed something the first looking at. Look at it again. Don't just do things well once. Don't just do things well once. Do things well every time. The day you make a mistake, everybody will understand. Generally, let me put a caveat. Generally, people will understand that, okay, this is not the normal thing. Something is wrong. Now, I told us, was it last week, that the previous week I wasn't feeling too well. Now, every Tuesday I show up, whether I'm fine, I'm not fine, unless I'm truly, truly sick, as in, I don't even know the sickness personally that I will have that has made me I don't come up, unless maybe I had to go to the hospital at the time. That's the only time you'll not see me here. But someone that knows me well noticed that Tuesday that something was off. If you don't know me well, you won't see it. You won't see it. You won't notice anything because I still came out. I still did my session. I did my research before I came out. I spoke what I knew, and you know, I completed that session. But someone that knew me well knew that something was off because it was not even me as I was doing it. I knew that even as I was on that session, I knew that I'm sounding a little off. Just a little bit off. It wasn't very noticeable. But if you know me well, you would have noticed it, which is what I'm talking about. This work that this person did for me. I don't want to call her name intentionally or his name. I don't want to call the name of the person, but it had happened severally. So I had to I've been correcting gently when it happened before. So this time I had to correct harshly so that she can understand. Excellence has to do with doing things well every time. When there is now, a deviation, we will understand, we will know that this is not the norm. We will know that this person doesn't usually behave like this. So something must have happened for this deviation to happen. Uzokoli, I see you on Instagram. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Okay, I see Angel Stella on Facebook. I see Kelechi. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today on Growth Habits. We're talking about competence and character. And we say that they are the foundations, the two pillars of excellence. You need both. You need both. You can't do both. You can't do without both of them. You can't have one without the other. You must have both to have excellence. Now, the degree, as we said, of each that you have is different. Is different. So that is what we're talking about today. Now, if you paid attention, you would have noticed that these principles that I spoke about now, these two principles of combining or putting together character and competence in order to help you, live a life of excellence, in order to help you live a life of impact, that there was a mnemonic there. I intentionally don't want to say it from the beginning, and that mnemonic is RISE, RISE. R, rooted in integrity. I, invest in growth. S, serve with humility. And E, execute with excellence. If you're able to do this, if you're able to just this, you don't even need to do much more. You will see that you begin to do more excellent work. You begin to, it will be noticeable, it will be seen. Remember that it has to be seen. It has to be seen. So, sometimes it's kind of, okay, how do I, how do I balance these things? How do I make these two aspects stand? How do I make these two aspects strong? And basically, one is consistency. We have to accept that excellence is not an event. It's not meant to be an event. It's not meant to be an event. It's meant to be a lifestyle. So consistency, showing up with integrity every day, showing up with effort every day, showing up with growth, with the need to grow every day. Consistency. The next thing you need is ownership. I've said this so much over the years. Ownership is one thing that I see lacking, especially in us Nigerians. We're so quick to give excuses. We're so quick. But ownership is taking responsibility. Take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for your decisions. Take responsibility for the outcomes. Take responsibility. People will trust you more when they see you take ownership of even the failings or the failures. Don't be quick to give excuse. Don't be quick to give excuse. My mentor, Pastor Favor Siri, she used to insist that we can't give her any excuse. There is no excuse you're going to give her why you did not read your book of the month. There's no excuse you're going to give her why you did not do your report on that book of the month. There's no excuse you're going to give her why you did not watch the movie she said you should watch for that month. There is no excuse. None. And what that did, that it made us that when we we didn't read the book. Like I told us, I think I've said this in an earlier session. One of the, was it the book? Yeah, one of the books she gave us, I couldn't read it. A lot of things. I don't want to go into the details. A lot of things. And they were valid. Not say a single one of those excuses were not valid. They were valid excuses why I should not have met up. Valid excuses. But because I know she will not accept excuse. Now that does not mean, she's not a hard taskmaster. Let's also get that right. It doesn't mean that when there's really genuinely something wrong, you can't tell her. But because she has imbibed it into my head that there's no excuse that is valid. In quote, I did an all-nighter. In fact, I spent the whole night and made sure I finished reading my book and prepared my report. Now, in submitting the report, I mentioned the challenges that I had, but that did not stop me from submitting a report. I knew that the report, because it was rushed, I knew she's going to notice that this is a rushed thing. She will notice that this is not the way I normally, do this. So I could now, because at least I've taken responsibility for my, failings at that time, and I was able to present something. I didn't give any excuse. I was able to present something. I could now, in quote, give the excuse. I don't know if we get what I'm saying. I don't know if we want to get what I'm saying, but ownership, take responsibility for your actions, take responsibility for your decisions, take responsibility for the outcomes. This is how people get to trust you, honestly. It's not just that you do good work. It's not just that you show up all the time, but you take ownership. The next thing is reliability. Be dependable. Don't fail unless there was just no way for you to meet up. You have explored every option and you couldn't meet up. That is different, but at least explore all the options. Don't just give up after the first attempt. Be someone that is dependable. Let people know that they can count on your word and they can count on your work. Let people know that. And the next is excellence. Be a person that is always improving. This is my own way of defining excellence, honestly. Be someone that's continually improving. Be a person of continual improvement. You will always do excellent work if you're always improving. But when you think, okay, I've known it, I understand it. So always strive for continual improvement. What this tells me is that to be someone whose character and competence balances out to produce what is necessary, you have to be consistent, you have to take ownership, you have to be reliable, and you have to be someone of excellence. And that spells core, C-O-R-E, core, C-O-R-E. Your core determines your credibility. So your consistency, your ownership, your reliability, your excellence, that is what determines your credibility. And you need to build both your heart and your hands. Your heart, your character, your hands, your competence. You need to build both. You need to build both in order to make a difference. So let me just go through a few things as I begin to round up. Excellence is built. Excellence is not born, it's built. You are born with some characteristics, yes, but you have to build on it. You don't stay at that one that you are born with. Excellence is built. It's a continual thing. It's continual. That's the word. It's a continual thing. It's a combination of your inward integrity and your outward mastery. Excellence. It's a combination of both. And you have to build that. You have to build your inward integrity, your character, and you have to build your outward mastery, your competence. Both are built. You're not born with all of them. It's not possible. You have to build character. When we have character and we don't have competence, what happens is that we have like a ton of good intentions, but we produce poor results. When we have character and we don't have competence, we have a ton of good intentions, but we produce poor results. And then on the other hand, when we have competence and we don't have character, yes, we have success because of your competence. But that success is not sustainable. Your character will ensure you don't sustain that success because your character is poor. So yes, because have you? I'm sure we see it every day. Gifted people, knowledgeable people, they rise and they rise fast, but they fall because of moral failures. So character without competence leads to good intentions, thousands of them, but poor results. Then competence without character leads to success without sustainability. Success without sustainability. So you must build both pillars together. They must be able to grow together. As you're building your heart, you're building your hands. As you're building your heart, you're aligning your hands, your skills to go with that character, your competence to go with that character that you are building. Both need to come along. When you have built both, excellence becomes effortless. You don't have to put too much effort to do excellent work anymore because you have built both your character and your competence. So, which one are you going to do this week? What do you intend to work on this week? What do you intend to work on? And let me even add this here. For you to really say, okay, I'm going to get to work. I need to improve on my character. I need to improve on my competence, whichever ones you need to work with. You need to start with honesty. Tell yourself the truth. Don't sugarcoat it for yourself. Tell yourself the truth. Identify areas in your life where you truly, maybe your integrity needs to be worked on, or is it your skill that needs to be strengthened? Tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself the truth. We can't really truly lie to ourselves. Onobi, I can see you on Facebook. Thank you for joining me. Good this afternoon, and good afternoon to you also. Yeah, I also says on Instagram, take responsibility for your missions, to take responsibility for your actions, really. All actions, inactions, omissions, commissions, take responsibility. Don't give excuses. Don't give excuses. So begin with honesty to really work on these two pillars we are talking about today. Okay, Coach Ify says she needs to improve on her competence, gain knowledge. Then, you've taken the first step. You have started with honesty. You've told yourself the truth. This, if you can even take it a little further, what specific area do you need to gain this knowledge? What specific area do you truly need to gain this knowledge? When you identify, then go ahead and upgrade. Go ahead and upgrade. Set out the time for it. Don't just say, oh, I need to improve, I need to gain knowledge, I need to improve in, you identify the area and you rest. No, set aside time for it. Fix that time right away. I wanted to learn virtual assistance. Yeah, I wanted to learn, how to do that. What does that mean? What does that entail? And initially it was just I want to learn it. I want to know what it is. I want to. Until I went searching for courses in that area. It was just an intention, good intention. Fool. It was just an intention. So I went searching for the courses. I found a few. I registered. See, I couldn't give myself the time to begin to dilly-dally. I registered straight away. I made sure that, okay, I did a free one, I did a paid one. So I ensured, I set aside the time. I set aside the time and I did it. I went through those courses. So you've identified, the areas either in your integrity or in your skill set that you need improvement. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and improve that habit. Go ahead and upgrade that area of your life. Go ahead and search for the courses that are needed. You need someone to, help you along the, find that person. Go ahead and do it. Don't give it time. The tendency is, if you begin to give time to let me see, you won't do it. So go ahead and do it. And I think this Nike's logo has become like a mantra. Just do it. Just go ahead and do it. Gagbenga Ojo, I see you on Facebook. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. So, once again, the action point, begin with honesty. Tell yourself the truth. Just tell yourself the truth and then upgrade. Go ahead and upgrade that habit. Don't wait. Don't give it a minute. Don't give it a, just go ahead and upgrade it. Just do it. Just do it. Then, if you can do these two things, if you can do these two things, at least you have taken the first step. You have taken the first step. And then for us Christians, depend on God's grace, truly. Depend on His grace, because especially in the area of character formation, in the area of competence, you can say, I will go and learn it. I will learn it by myself, no problem. But in the area of character formation, you need God's help. You actually do. Even actually for skill, you need His help for everything. But I believe that more in the area of character formation, you really, really need His help. So depend on His grace, both character formation, skill mastery. You need grace, you need discipline. You need that for both. You need it for both. So depend on that. If you have someone, a physical person that can help hold you accountable. They can hold you accountable. Please. See, accountability is so important. Find that person. Grab that person. Let them hold you accountable. If you need me to be that person, I am available. Book a slot. My one-on-one clarity session. Book a slot. Let's talk about it. Let's see how we can, help you in developing the things that you need. So what we have talked about, finding an area that needs attention. We have talked about, going ahead and refining that skill, upgrading. I've even talked about creating accountability. Share your goal with a mentor, share it with a colleague, share with someone that can truly hold you accountable. And remember to review, revisit, review. Don't just say, okay, I've set the goal and that's it. Review, revisit. Review, revisit every time is essential. It's very, very important. So I think I'm going to bring it to a close here because time has actually gone. And in closing, I say this. I'm just going around to see if there's any comment I need to respond to. Okay, so in closing, I say this: your character is the foundation of trust. That is the foundation of trust. Competence is your proof of your value, the competence that you have. And when you put these two together, they're actually the pillars that will form the lasting habits of excellence that we are trying to achieve. We put the two together: character and competence. Character and competence. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me this afternoon on Growth Habits with Ngozi. Remember to pick one area. Pick one area and work on it this week. Don't just hear these things and throw them in the dustbin, please. In the dustbin of your, learnings. I don't know if many of us, I do. I have what I call a dustbin of learnings because, you've learned this, you've learned this, you've learned that, and you just dump them somewhere, never do anything with it. That is not the aim. That is not it. Ensure that you're applying one thing at least every week. I think I'll begin to share what I am applying. Yeah, from next week, I'll share what I applied this week. I'll share my own. Maybe that will help prompt someone else to um, apply the things that we're learning. Like I said, I'm going on this journey with you. I'm not just telling you, do this, do that. I'm doing them. I'm doing them. So I'm on this journey with you. Next week, we're going to talk about um, leaving a mark. Leaving a mark. Let me just leave it like that. Cliffhanger, share, that's what they call it. So, yeah, remember, in the multitude of all these things, I say, remember, remember that it is essential to have both character and competence. You can't have one and leave the other out completely. You must work on having the two. You have to understand how your character, which is who you are, and your competence, what you do, work together to create that lasting impact, to create that influence, to create that credibility, to create that life of excellence that you're seeking. Both work together to create that life. And please remember to make today and every day count. Be valuable in whatever you do, wherever you go, be valuable and ensure that you're always growing. Ensure that you're always growing. All right. See you next week, Tuesday, same time, 12 noon, right here on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. Wherever it's convenient for you, join on that platform. Once again, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're on those four platforms live every Tuesday, 12 noon. Please follow us also on all our social media handles. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Growth Habits with Ngozi. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram. Follow us on LinkedIn. Follow us everywhere. And thank you once again for joining me this afternoon. I do believe that I have given some value um, in the things that I have spoken. You've picked up one thing or the other, and I appreciate, excuse me, my voice. I don't know why my throat is drying up. All right. Yes, okay. Uzo says, I must be responsible in all that I do. Yes, take responsibility for your actions, your words, your deeds. Take responsibility. Don't give excuses. Don't be quick to give excuses. Don't be quick to give excuses. Thank you all once again for joining me. I always say this, I appreciate that you spend this time with me on Growth Habits, both those that come on live, those that watch on the replays. Thank you. Thank you. Many a times when I look on Facebook, um, what they call it, the statistics, and I see 100 and something views, 200 and something views of the live sessions, I'm like, wow, I thank each and every one of you. It's not easy. I know it is not. To take up 1 hour of your time, it's not easy. So thank you. I appreciate each of you. Please share this with others. This is one area that I believe you can help me. Yes, and you can help others. Share the link, share it with someone else, let them watch, share the group link with someone else, let them also watch. I usually post short snippets after. Share those with someone, share it with someone. All right, thank you all so much for joining me today. I appreciate you and see you all next week, Tuesday, right here on Growth Habits with Ngozi. Do have an awesome day.